Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.
And we're muted, so that would work better if we had some sound. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Basement Monsters Game Day Podcast. I'm Ivan Vargas. That's Luke Nettles, of course, and we're going to bring to you 3 games today. Hopefully 3 good games. First one of which should be a good game. That is going to be the Tennessee Titans versus the Cleveland Browns. And to be honest with you, dude, I never thought I was going to say this. Like, I'm looking forward to a Cleveland Browns game.
I'm not. I'm sorry. I just can't stand them. I don't believe in them. Yeah, that's great. They got Garrett back, whatever. The only thing I do like about Cleveland, if I had to pick out something I did like, I like their running game a lot. I just don't think Baker is the guy that gets it done in Cleveland. They're going up against Derrick Henry today.
Right.
If they could keep, Tannehill clean, I look for Tannehill to pick them apart. If they start getting pressure, I could see Cleveland getting the W on this game. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going Titans all the way on this one. But it is, for Cleveland fans out there, congratulations. You're better than a lot of teams that people thought were going to be better.
Yeah.
So I mean, congratulations on that. But like I said, that's just my preference. I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan. But like I said, I can respect the run game.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And talk about respecting the run game. We're coming into this game with the number 1 and number 2 rushing attacks in the NFL. Number 1 going to Cleveland, number 2 to Tennessee. And it doesn't really matter because, honestly, both teams could just get going on the ground. Mm-hmm. And we've seen it with Tennessee. And we know that they have that two-headed monster in Cleveland with Chubb and with Kareem Hunt. It's going to be tough going for the defensive lines today for both Cleveland and for Tennessee. But if you're gonna talk defense, I'm gonna have to go ahead and give the Browns the advantage in this game, just because Tennessee is we've seen a lot of their games this year. We covered a lot of their games this year. They're susceptible to getting beat in coverage, mm-hmm. and sometimes they don't tackle as well as they should. But they keep you in it. They had a better game last week when they beat the. Was it the Baltimore game last week? No, it wasn't Baltimore last week.
Who, Tennessee?
Tennessee had.
They played last.
I'll look it up.
Was it the Colts again? Second Colts game?
Oh, that's right. Well, either way, they've been handling business in that AFC South, and I expect them to keep running the ball with Henry.
Yeah, I mean that's their plug. I mean, like that's where they all go behind. I mean the more Henry runs, the less Tannehill throws, the less turnovers they get. They wear down the defense. They burn time off the clock. So as Henry goes, the Titan goes. If they start shutting down Henry and making Tannehill, have to be the guy, I look for Cleveland to just feast on him then at that point, because I don't think Tannehill is the guy that you need back there throwing the ball 40 or 50 times a game. I think he's perfect where he's at with Henry, and he needs to throw that ball right around that 20 to 27, 28 times. And I think that balances their offense. And like I said, I think it just keeps him from getting, maybe too much going on in his head and trying to create too much. But yeah, just they have to run Henry or else it's over.
Right. The pressure that comes with throwing the ball 40 plus times, mm-hmm. you have to be perfect damn near. And if you're throwing the ball 40 plus times, usually it means that you're not running the ball well.
Right.
So you become one-dimensional. The defense figures that out. It usually, leads to turnovers or just bad offense in general. But they have done a great job at keeping them in that ballpark mm-hmm. number, like you said, under 30 and under. For a guy like Tannehill, those are great numbers to have passing the ball, because now you have a complement. Now you know that you're playing complementary offense or complementary football. You have your running game that's complementing the quarterback, and you have the offense who's not turning the ball, keeping themselves on the field and controlling the clock while that defense takes a blow.
Real rest.
Every time it's a real rest.
Right.
that has been the MO for the Tennessee Titans as of late, and it's been working well for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be, like I said, this is probably a good game, but it could go either way. It's like, this could be a very low scoring game because if both these running games get going and they both start eating, 8, 7, 8, 9 minutes off the clock, like there might only be 3 touchdowns in the whole game.
Right.
But like I said, eventually, somebody's gonna hit the deep shot and whatever. But I'm gonna still ride with the Titans today. I'm gonna call it at 26-17.
26-17. I'm gonna go the opposite, man. I'm gonna go with Cleveland. I think the Cleveland running game. I think the defense for the Titans is going to allow a couple big plays downfield because of that running game. Mm-hmm. Because they're going to get gashed. Yeah. And they're going to respect the running game a little bit too much, and they're going to get beat over the top. And I think that's what is going to be the difference. But I have Cleveland in a close one, 27-26. And I gave those off numbers because it's just like in a game like this, field goals are going to probably be king for a while until you could wear down and finally find a breakthrough into the end zone. All right, guys, their second game, my game. Bears versus Lions, and for that, we're gonna go ahead and bring in our guy, our boy. He's with us whenever he can, whenever he can make it. He always makes time for us, and we appreciate that. Our boy from the On Tap Sportsnet, Bears on Tap, everything on tap. Brandon Suarez. Brandon, what's up, bro?
What's up, guys? How are you today?
Good.
Chilling, man. So I just got done talking to my co-host Michael Halatek in my last show, the Barely Pregame show, and it was flat out embarrassing last week. Like one of the worst losses I've ever just sat and watched and took. And I remember, and I've been in some bad ones. So the worst one was that one in New England where we got beat by 50.
The Lamar Houston game.
Yes, and it kills me because how many more times are we going to witness this? Like, how many more times are we going to witness a game for the Chicago Bears? It's like, this has to be the worst one in franchise history. When are we going to get it right? And obviously you can't answer all those questions right now, but what you can answer is what you want to be going forward. And that I'm going to leave to these next stretch of games is the Bears need to show us who they are going forward.
Yeah, and that starts with going 1-0 every week. I know there's a lot of, if you're on Bears message boards, Bears Twitter, and just generally talking about the Bears with people that everyone wants to go 5-11 now because the playoffs seem out of reach. This team seems out of touch, and essentially they gave up on Matt Nagy last week. I mean, one thing we talked about on Bears on Tap was how often do you see that defense just lay an egg across the board to the tune of 41 points? The Packers offense was able to move the ball however they wanted. I don't think we had an actual stop recorded until the second half. And the embarrassment was so bad that my phone got punted across the room that I didn't even see your message to come back on at halftime. So I was just the beer was flowing. I'm glad I didn't make any content type bets because for the Vikings game, I had to eat 8 hot dogs because of the Bears, and I had to put them all on Twitter. So the Bears have been putting me through an absolute pain factory this last month, and I woke up this morning at 7:30, and we're not losing today. We're not losing. It's the Lions. Mitch somehow comes to play against the Lions. They don't have Galladay. Okuda's sitting out. And from what I've seen, I haven't been able to catch too much of the pregame show because I've been doing stuff this morning. DeAndre Swift, I believe, is doubtful. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. I don't believe he's playing. So
yeah, we talked about it in the Barely pregame show. He is, I think he's doubtful or he's out. That was what Mike had reported, that he's probably not going to play today, and that's good for the Bears.
Yeah, I mean. Galladay, we had him out that first game. I know Amendola's a little bit banged up, but this is a team in the Lions that their defense has regressed significantly week in and week out from the very beginning of the season where they looked like a decent unit. They've been giving up a lot of points in the last few weeks, and they haven't really been able to stop anyone. I know I use this as kind of like a crutch, but this is a real good opportunity to take the things that we did good last week, a la the David Montgomery run, some of the stuff that Mitch did down the stretch. Granted, it was against the prevent defense, and those are fantasy points and cover the spread points at that time. We lost that game 41-10. It wasn't 41-25. I don't care about those 2 touchdowns. It didn't matter. No. But they have to protect the football. I know the fumble last week was kind of up in the air, like it was kind of a bad hit, but it's the NFL. You're going to get smoked every now and then, so you got to kind of roll with the punches. But I need to see the Bears get Allen Robinson involved, guys like Cole Kmet, and let's start that run game early and keep that defense guessing. No,
you're right. And we got Josh Davidson. Do we know if Hicks is in this week? Surprisingly, I didn't pay attention this week, or maybe
no.
I mean, he's going to be in, and it's not just you. We're all sick of this crap, Josh. So it's yes, he will be in, but no, we're all on the same page. We're all sick of this shit. And I told Mike, in the last show, I've lived 31 years. Mike has literally seen every Bears game that I could think of. He's either been at or he knows exactly what happened in it, and I love that about him. That's why that's one of the best parts of talking to Mike, is because you learn some stuff. But we're talking about him saying this is the worst performance he's ever seen. A guy like we've been here too many times. Too many times have we been in the same exact spot. Too many times are we in a position where we have to figure out who's going to be the quarterback next year. We have to figure out if we're going to ever get a franchise quarterback. I've been here too many times to think. And even to the point of, well, if they could just win these last 4 games, maybe we can make the playoffs.
It's the same movie every year. It's the same movie every year. So this is how it starts. This is especially in the Matt Nagy era. Start out, win a couple games, look real good in the first few weeks, and then October, November come around, and it starts to even out. We start adding a lot more losses than wins in the column, and then we get to November and December, and we are on the third side of the graphic. We're on the in the hunt side of the graphic. We're still there. We're 1 game back, but the Vikings have the tiebreaker on us. The Cardinals are ahead of us. But I honestly, as much as my dad's a huge Rams fan, and I really do like the Rams kind of as like my second team just because I grew up with it, I don't think they're beating the Cardinals today. And it's because of Jared Goff. So we're in that situation where you need to win, and you need a bunch of help, like a lot of help. You need consistent help from the rest of the league every single week for this to even be a possibility. So it's like, what's really going to happen? We're going to go 7-9. We're going to get like the 17th pick. It's going to suck. And this is what happens to us every year. But when you look back at this season, you look back at games like the Saints game or the Saints game, and some of these games that we let slip away or could have won if we just picked our head out of our ass every now and then. Like Matt Nagy can't stay out of his own way, and he refuses to accept any blame at any level. He's the number one, point everyone else out guy. Like he will blame his players, he will blame his coaches, whoever. He doesn't have any more fall guys, so he's just letting everyone die.
He didn't even blame his coaches, Brandon. He just fires them. He just fires them. He doesn't blame them at all. He just fires them. That's it. He doesn't. There's no compromise. There's no finding an even ground.
That's the quickest way to say no more questions.
Exactly. No more questions. You're fired.
Marshawn Lynch. Yeah, I'm just here.
Right now, Javon Wims. And this is I was gonna go nuts when Mike said this. Mm-hmm. Javon Wims is active. Riley Ridley's down. Why in the hell is Riley Ridley on the bench? Why? With the effort that he gave out last week, why in the hell is Riley Ridley on the bench for Javon undisciplined ass Wims? Because
Javon Wims is our Dustin Bufflin. He's not there to catch passes. He's there to catch fades.
Oh, but yeah. I guess so. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and bring in another guy from the Smoke Fellas Humidor Sports Podcast. My boy Damani Lucky Lefty. What's up, brother?
What's happening, my brothers? How y'all doing today?
Good.
Hopefully better if this fucking Bears team could go ahead and show us that they actually want to make the playoffs.
Man, looky here. If Club Dub don't reopen today, let's just shut it down for the season. Because I don't see no way. Like, this is these last 5 games, 4 out of 5 are winnable. I mean, let's be totally honest. And even going into that last game against Green Bay, depends on what they playing for. They could be playing for nothing. They may sit everybody. And when it all comes down to it, these games are going to decide if Nagy and Pace get maybe one more year, or if we cleaning house. So let's see what's going to happen. It starts today, though.
Yeah,
you got to get the win today.
Yeah, and I was talking about it. we're going like this. This is how I see this team because I said it. Me, Brandon, and Luke were just talking about it a minute ago. Lefty, we've seen this movie before.
Yep.
We've all seen this exact movie before. Bears need a quarterback. Bears got a good defense. They can still make the playoffs with 5 games left.
Gotta win out.
They have to win out. We have to come like all this shit I've seen before. Right. So what's the difference between now and then? It has to come from the locker room. The motivation has to come from the players. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If your talent isn't there, you have to find some type of motivation.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. But let's be realistic. And me and the fellas been talking about it. Like you said, we've seen this show on Pony. We've seen this Pony show for too many years. And until the Bears do what like the Bulls just did, what the Cubs had to do, the Blackhawks, until you restructure that whole front office, I'll bring in a president of football operations, somebody outside of the organization, not another McCaskey grandkid or Ted Phillips or anybody, because I don't want this regime picking the next coach or GM. I just don't. I don't. This is getting ridiculous.
On the topic of Sweaty Teddy, my co-host from Bears on Tap, someone that's been on SportsZone Chicago as well, but with Sean and Maya, Lucas Perfetti. I don't know if you guys seen it, but he has a petition going around to have Ted Phillips fired, and it has well over 1,000 signs. So I'll try and get that in the chat next time going. But yeah, that's definitely get him up out of there. And like you said, Lefty, it's something where Phillips has been around since 99, probably even before that. He's been around forever.
Before that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not working. What we made the playoffs 4 or 5 times. I think 4 times total.
Yeah.
And this team, I think I said it perfectly. What this team is, when Ryan Pace gets fired, these are the words that should be what's said to him. Look, it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. Whatever's good they think that they're doing, it's just not working out. And like you said, we don't want to see this again happen. It'll give you another shot. Now you actually have first-round draft picks this year. Yep. Again, now you actually have some type of leverage because they might not be adjusting that cap next year. They've been talking about not moving it. So now you might even have more leverage. You have more. So I don't see the Bears in a full rebuild. But like I said, and I want to answer Vernon's comment. Come on, Ivan, in my coach voice. Playoffs? Yeah, because this team would be that team that would make the play, just skim in, make the playoffs, give you hope, and then go ahead and show their true colors when it comes down to playoffs.
Just rip your heart out one last time.
Right. Remember 2003? They faced the Panthers in the playoffs.
Steve Smith smoked us.
Yeah,
and then was the back of that '89 jersey.
And then before that, in 2001, I believe they got their asses smoked by the Eagles at home in the postseason after running a 13-3 record. Look. No matter what your record is, we can see through the cracks. So, for me, playoffs, yeah, I could see them making the playoffs at 9-7 and thinking that there's something better because the Packers went ahead and laid down that final week of the season. I could definitely see that, but on the flip side, I'm with you as well. I don't see that shit happening at all.
and when it all comes down to it, until that quarterback situation, until we find our Kyler Murray, our Russell Wilson, our Mahomes, it don't necessarily have to be someone, some Hall of Famer, but somebody who can hold that position down and at least, for years to come. I know we had Jay Cutler was probably the last halfway decent quarterback we had here, and they didn't give him a line or nothing to work with. I mean, Cutler should have been way better than what he was, but you put a bunch of trash around him and expected him to, carry that and get somewhere. So that, that was a total mess. He got hurt that 2011 as Vernon brought up. That was a pretty good team actually, until Cutler went down that second half. We ended up losing to Green Bay. Green Bay wins the Super Bowl. It's like being a Bears fan. Every time you look up, it's just some stroke of bad luck, man. But if we get back to the present day, look at how this team is constructed. Nagy came from that Andy Reid system. which is really based on speed. You know, that system is based on speed, and the Bears don't have the personnel to run that system. David Montgomery is slow as molasses. Tariq Cohen Tariq is fast, but Tariq is sideline to sideline. Allen Robinson, as good as he is, his hands are great, but he's slow. His speed is pretty average for a wide receiver.
Look, this team has a spread-minded coach with a under-center team. You know what I'm saying? With under-center traditional players.
Exactly.
Like you cannot run. You cannot run these sophisticated type of offenses. And I'm not saying sophisticated as they're dumb, but I'm saying more like the progressions they take too long.
Right.
They take too long with the talent that you have. So you need to get the ball out quick, and you need to run the football. And you don't have the guys to do that in this type of an offense. We
do not have a West Coast. We don't have West Coast offense personnel. We just don't. Whenever we're running naked bootlegs to Jimmy Graham, seriously, Jimmy Graham been slow for the last 5 years. Like it just looks ridiculous when you look at it. You're like, why are you all trying this? You know, like I said, and as much as I like David Montgomery, he don't have the breakaway speed. He'll hit you with a big one here and there, like every now and then, but he just doesn't have the breakaway speed. He's not that type of running back. It's just when you just look at the thing, nothing fits. Yeah, nothing fits. You know, it's forcing a round hole into a square peg, and it's just not working. And we see the mess.
Yeah, I don't. Going off what you said earlier, Lefty. The stroke of bad luck. The stroke of bad luck has been there since '85. It's been management. It's been draft picks. It's been coaching decisions. It's not you. That's why I have a hard time blaming any Bears players because it's not their fault. Like you get, like I said, we were talking about this the other day. They're going to go ahead and get rid of Pace and Nagy. That defense is going to get blown up, and in 4 years, the Bears are going to have a juggernaut offense, and they'll have no defense to back them up. That's just the way it goes. And another bad stroke of bad luck is maybe you should start taking a few more quarterbacks out to dinner prior to the draft. Just taking a guess,
just at least giving them a phone call, at least acknowledging their existence, right?
Yeah. No. He didn't go to 2 national championships and win one.
Right.
He didn't do that. So come on, man. Like. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just the simple facts of that. I mean, it's like I said, and they've had good offenses where the defense wasn't quite ready yet. Now it's completely the opposite. This team is the Buccaneers of like the late '90s. Buccaneers had a great defense for a long time, and they just never quite had that offense. And they didn't even really have an offense when they won the Super Bowl with Brad Johnson.
They had a good running game with Michael Pittman, and they had a big receiver in Keyshawn. And they had that defense. That's how they won the Super Bowl.
I was just about to say, run that sentence back. We won a Super Bowl with Brad Johnson. Anything is possible. Where's Kevin Garnett?
Right. Yeah.
Trent Dilfer won with Baltimore.
Yeah, exactly. There's people that have won Super Bowls that are less than ideal situations at quarterback. Right. So
I mean, Eli Manning. I'm not no disrespect to my boy Kevo, but Eli Manning. Come on, man. They got 2 Super Bowls with that dude. Eli was always, pretty average to me.
Hey, Trent Dilfer.
Job done.
Trent Dilfer, second greatest defense of all time. Like, this is what I wanted to get to. Who do you look to in this game? Like, who do you really rally around? Because at a certain point, like you're going to talk about the Lions and how bad the Lions are. Yeah, we understand that, but you need someone to rally around. And I'm not gonna try to single out any type of player right now. I'm not gonna call it out, but somebody on that field needs to be the voice and needs to go out and prove it out on the football field. You need to show it both verbally and you need to show it physically when you go out and play. Somebody they need something to rally around. And Luke, I wanted to point out and I wanted to ask you guys this question. Do you think, like for me, and I keep going back to what you said about in a couple years the Bears are going to have a top-notch offense with no defense in sight.
They will. That's exactly what's going to happen.
And we're talking. I forgot who we were talking about it with on Sean and Maya this week. We're talking about it with Sean and Maya this week. It got repeated again, but not by me, by somebody else. And I was like, Luke said exactly that. I could see this team in about what would you say,
3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years, being ready on offense and being long in the tooth on defense, or not even having the players to be to be competitive.
Your defensive line then will be your offensive line now.
Exactly. So where do you guys think the Bears should be in a couple of years? Because I think that they're really gonna focus on getting this offense right. But is it going to be to the detriment of the defense? Either one. What do you guys think?
I think it goes both ways. But similar to what Luke said, the team has not shown an ability to put together, a full draft. Never, or not never, but in the last 5 to 10 years, we'll find 1 or 2 guys in the draft that we can, count on to contribute. But moving forward, it's going to be really interesting to see, like you guys said, how the money works out. I mean, we know Mitch probably won't get extended. We know Allen Robinson probably won't get extended. Probably going to see even darker days on offense next year than we saw this year, just due to addition by subtraction. We're getting rid of our number 1 receiver. They're probably going to look to grab a receiver, maybe second, third round, and hope that they can get a Chase Claypool or DK Metcalf situation where they just get lucky into a really good receiver in that spot. But it's similar to what you guys were saying. It's not only is it the X's and O's that don't work, it's the Jimmies and Joes that don't work. The offensive line is terrible. I think right now, unless you have a surefire number 1 quarterback in your mind that you have no debate on, he's the number 1 guy on your board, you can go after him in the first round. But if not, take the safe pick. Go out and grab an offensive lineman. You cannot go wrong with getting an offensive lineman in the first round. But the way I see it shaking up is I just feel that this Bears team probably, if they end up blowing it up like you guys said, I feel like the next 3 to 4 years we're going to be bottom feeders, 5-11, 6-10. No, we're not going to be in the hunt. It's going to be an even worse movie than we're used to watching, where they at least keep us strung on until week 16, 17, and then they let us down one last time.
Oh, you want to take us back to the Dave Wanstead years, huh? Oh my God, we lived through that. It was horrible, but I definitely agree. I mean, it all starts with, you got to get a quarterback. You have to find a way. I've become a Zach Wilson fan from BYU. Man, that kid. I mean, the way the ball jumps off his arm, man, he can make every throw. He's already running a pro style offense. He's mobile. I can see that kid being very good in a few years. And with so many holes, though, I think you guys hit it right on the head. You're going to spend, by the time you fill all these holes, left tackle, quarterback, we don't need another number 1 receiver unless Mooney steps up, or maybe you're going to by that time the defense is going to be older. Khalil Mack, Hicks, these guys are going to be long in the tooth. So we're going to go through this whole little teetering thing, and unless they just have 2 or 3 amazing drafts, top to bottom, sort of what Seattle did, when they had their run, the Legion of Boom, You can put together about 2 or 3 great drafts in a row, then maybe you can avoid that. But we all didn't seen this. We didn't seen this story too many times. When did the Bears ever put 1 solid draft together, let alone 2 or 3 consecutive? So, yeah, the future's bleak. I mean, at least the near future. But if you can get a quarterback in here, like I said, Zach Wilson, the kid from North Dakota State, you're not going to get Fields or Lawrence. There's no way. But you may have to trade up a couple of slots for Wilson or the other kid, and I think it's well worth it. But it has to start at the quarterback.
I think also a thing with the Bears is that these coaches aren't sticking around long enough. So you get a lot of this half done. Like if you were getting a bathroom done and you change contractors in the middle of it. It's like the first guy I told you was going to be done in a week, but you did something to piss him off, so he left. So now you got to get somebody else, and he tells you a week, and then the same thing keeps happening.
Exactly.
There's not a regime that's in power long enough to really put together a good draft, and you're bringing in different philosophies as well. Exactly. So you're getting these hodgepodge pockets of, okay, we need this, and then the next guy's like, no, we need that, and you never complete this part of it. You got
to get a bunch of misfit toys out there.
Right.
Is what you have. And to be honest. This could have been a different story if you hit on a Kevin White, if you hit, or we don't even have to put names to him because I know it hurts some Bears fans. If you hit on that, if you hit on a receiver, if you hit on a DN, if you actually draft offensive lineman worth the damn, if you don't go after a bum ass Adam Shaheen, although he's found some success in Miami, those right there, those picks, you turn them into serviceable players. This team is looking a lot different, and then not to mention the big one, the quarterback.
Yeah,
you like it's hard to see Ryan Pace still in his GM position at the end of this year because those picks, all those things that I just said, literally would have changed. This team would be different if you found success on those number 1 draft picks, especially where you picked them at. We're talking about a team that is looking to be in the playoffs 100% instead of, man, if we have to do this, if we have to do that.
They'd be looking legit on that Khalil Mack trade.
Exactly.
You know, they wouldn't be looking like idiots for taking Trubisky. You get a better quarterback, and that Mack trade doesn't look so bad. Like, we gave it up, but look what we got back. So,
well, that goes to the disconnect, though. You know, I was reading not too long ago where they were saying at the time Fox wanted Watson.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Watson.
They knew that.
Everybody in that room, but John Fox knew that they were trapped in Trubisky.
Yep.
Everybody in that room.
They didn't care what Fox wanted to say because they knew that he was going to get fired. So, like, it was like you said, Luke, the disconnect, the dysfunction. Like, what the hell are we doing? And the thing that pisses me off the most about the Bears, we're all men, right? Like, if I owned a company and I'm going to fire you, I'm going to tell you to your face. I'm not going to pussyfoot and, beat around the bush and, ultimately cost my franchise in a situation where I don't want to have bad PR. Like, get over yourself.
See, that's the BS. Like, the image is more protected than what the product on the field is. Like, the image is more protected than your quarterback. That's a problem.
Winning sells more than anything. Winning sells.
So here's a question I have for you guys. What do you is it necessary the talent that they're drafting, or is it our player development? Because now I'm looking at Leonard Floyd over at the Rams. And Leonard Floyd, I mean, this man couldn't sack me, and I'm 47 with a bad back when he was here in Chicago.
And multi-sack games.
Now he's playing, across from Aaron Donald, everything we thought he was going to do, being across from Khalil Mack. You mentioned Adam Shaheen, who's at least looking halfway decent over in Miami. Trey Burton, like, what is it about when they're here where they are not developing?
Sorry,
guys are not developing.
Sorry, Lefty. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know his name is number 8. His name is number 80. His name does not get spoken. Here, his name is number 80.
Employee 80.
Right.
Number 80 is having a good year with his bum ass. I'm sorry. I refuse to speak that name in this house.
Well, Trey, that name 80, it was an injury thing, and the same with Kevin White. We really never knew what Kevin White could have been. I mean, who knew
1 yard away?
Yeah, who knew the guy would the first time he got hit, he'd break his shoulder and never be the same. You still never know what Kevin White could have been.
They were depleted in San Francisco, and they still didn't put him in the game.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it between Kevin White and Amari Cooper?
Cooper went right before.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a position that I'm trading up if I got.
Why were we thinking about big body receiver when we still couldn't bet? Like, we didn't have a good. Why? Like, our line wasn't better in the John Fox era. It wasn't any better. No. Why were we thinking about drafting a playmaking wide receiver when you can't block for your quarterback? Who's going to pass to him? Chicken neck? Who's going to pass to him? Mm-hmm. Some of the picks just didn't make sense. And I'm not going to say that
they've been paying for it ever since.
They've been paying for it ever since, but I'm not going to say that he knew that there. I mean, we all knew that there were going to be busts going in. I mean, sometimes you're like, hey, shit happens. But like I said, what needs to be said to Ryan Pace going out? It just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. That's his MO. It just didn't work out.
Or just blame it on somebody else like Nagy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sorry, Ryan, it's not your fault. It's someone else's fault, but you're losing your job.
Lucky
he's going to go to fire someone, and then he's going to get fired.
Right.
Lucky we saw David Montgomery, although he had only 11 rushes for 100-something yards. He finally broke that 100-yard barrier. Mm-hmm. What pisses me off about the running game, right? And we saw We saw it get better with Trubisky in. That's neither here. Trubisky doesn't need to be our quarterback next year. He's in because we have nobody else.
Right.
But the running game started to work. And then all of a sudden, me and Luke were talking about it. It disappeared. It disappeared. Like, you stopped running the football. And then some of the play calls in that last game were like, why aren't you continuing to just pound David Montgomery at all costs to control the clock? Regardless of that, it led to turnovers. It led to just bad things for the Bears. Today, do you think, and I'm hoping that they just, Cordero, maybe you come in the backfield once in a while instead of every third down. Make David Montgomery the feature back, the true feature back. Bring the feature back to the fold because he needs to be there first, second, and third down. I don't care what anybody says. He's your starting running back. He's your best option when you need to run the ball in close yard situations. Why do I have a wide receiver, as big as he is, I don't give a shit. He's a wide receiver. Why do I have him in instead of my running back who at all costs, by any means, will fight for this much? For this much, David Montgomery will fight for. Why isn't he in there? Why is it a receiver? Do you think, Lefty, that they go ahead and they focus on David Montgomery running the football today?
Yeah, well, I definitely think they do. I'm actually starting David Montgomery on my fantasy league today, so I hope they do at least. But we look at that Packers game last week, and that just became a foot race. They were just trying to keep up, and you can't stick with the run when the when the Packers are scoring at will. I mean, you have to abandon it. I don't think that would happen. That will happen today, so they will stick more with the run. And I'm with you. I like Patterson here and there, like you say, come in, maybe get about 4 or 5 touches, some little trick play, a little end around or something that you can try to run with him. But Montgomery needs at least 25 touches, at the very least 25 touches today. And that way you take pressure off Trubisky, and we don't have to sit back and hope he don't throw in a triple coverage or do something else idiotic. Things like that. And the defense, kind of stays off the field. They should be able to control the Lions. But Montgomery is the key. Definitely the key. Needs at least 25 touches.
And Brandon, for you, it kind of coincides with that question. This offensive line has been revamped. It looked better last week. I was talking about getting some in my keys of the game in the Barely pregame show. I was talking about not giving up on the run. Because it's your best option, to be honest. At this point, if your quarterback's going in a triple coverage,
the numbers game, yeah.
Your best option to hold on to the football. Your best option is to run the ball. But like I said, I saw the offensive line, I guess, take a step with the guys that they had out there.
Shout out Notre Dame.
I think the bright spot of the line last week was Fetty.
Exactly.
Right tackle.
Right tackle. Yeah.
That was such a great offseason signing.
But I want to stop. But another bright spot, silver lining, if you will, Sam Mustipher. Mm-hmm. Sam Mustipher has come in, and it benefits you going into next year because you get James Daniels back. Then you can move Whitehair to the other guard. Now you have a Sam Mustipher who's solid in the middle because you don't hear his name being called. Then you have your 2 guards in Whitehair and James Daniels, who are proven, who can get nasty. Now you have your running game. That Sean was breaking this down last week. He on Friday we were talking about this, and he's like, now you have your running game, and from there you could go and build outside. And from there, like the guys that were sitting behind them, they've already got some experience. The younger guys, at least. Mm-hmm. Now you have now you have a foundation for your replacement because you're going to need backup linemen.
Go down all the time.
Look at this year; they go down all the time. Granted, we've had COVID
rolled up,
but regardless, they go down all the time. We need quality. Now imagine if we had a quality left tackle and he went down, and all of a sudden Leno came in. Are we just going to praise Leno for doing a decent job? Hell no. So for me, I need them to go ahead and find some offensive line today. Do you think this offensive line continues their somewhat success in certain situations? Sometimes, maybe. Do they build off of the little bit of success that they found last week?
So to Lucky's benefit, I'm going to go out and say it. Montgomery will finish this game with over 100 yards rushing today. And like I said at the beginning of the show, I feel like it's a good day or a good opportunity for Allen Robinson to have a big game. Those receivers to really get busy. on an injured secondary against the Detroit Lions. But yeah, it starts up front. If the line doesn't do their job, the train doesn't leave the station, and you can't get anything going. And Mitch is running in circles and pressing the B button in the backfield, doing spin moves on no one. Like it's going to be a good game. I for the first time in a month and a half, instead of just waking up and telling myself the Bears were going to win, even though I may not have thought it, I actually feel like they're going to win today. And there's no way in hell that defense is going to lay an egg 2 weeks in a row. The Lions will pick their spots. Stafford will get his 250 yards or whatever it is that he gets every time he plays us. But I feel like the key, one of the things that we haven't talked about is they need to be able to shut down Adrian Peterson, who has looked pretty good this season, despite being, I think 41 years old. So they can hit you in a variety of different ways, and don't let Danny Trevathan go out there and cover Amendola in the slot or anyone for that matter, because
oh my God,
I couldn't.
Oh my God,
he was on Devontae Adams last week.
Why did they make the switch, knowing Roquan is the faster linebacker? Why isn't it hey, flip flop? You got the runner coming across.
Or even throwing Deion Bush, throwing a hybrid safety to cover, a guy that is just absolutely mopping every corner in the league, much less linebacker. So, yeah, it's gonna take a team effort today. The defense, I think, will be able to create some turnovers. Stafford will give us a gift. Let's try and find a way to bring it back to the end zone. I know this defense is looking for that type of play, and one thing that my football ideology is built off of is complementary football. The offense has to feed into the defense, and the special teams has – you know what I'm saying? It has to be a cycle, and we have not been able to play complementary football in over a month, and today is the day that we get to watch our favorite movie of the season, that we're still in the hunt and trying to fight for a playoff spot, and it's hell every week. So –
well, and to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, and I think one of the keys is also going to be you got to turn Detroit one-dimensional. Like you say, and that's been a problem with the defense of getting to the quarterback. You can't let the dogs loose when they can still run the ball, when it's still a 50-50 run the pass, and you got to play your lanes. If you can get up early and let Mac and I don't know why I'm saying Robert Quinn, but if you can let those guys loose and maybe, blitz Roquan, just let them loose. And like you said, Stafford will give it up. But you need to get a lead. Play with a lead. You need to try to play with a lead and let this defense do their thing. That's no way I see them laying an egg like last week. There's no way I don't see that happening again.
All right, well, with that, we'll start out with you, Luke, because you're the non-Bears fan here. So where do you see? Okay, Detroit.
He's wearing blue. He's wearing blue. Did you even have to ask?
It's
Detroit.
Detroit.
What's the score?
It's Detroit. Like I said, I feel like it's going to be Hawkinson and AP. I think Mitch has 3 turnovers, and I think Stafford thrives because he's post Patricia.
We forget about this. The Lions are on an interim coach basis,
right? Why not? Why not go for it?
They have nothing to lose, so I could see that. Trust me. We're on the same page.
Score wise, I'll go. I'm gonna go 28-20. Lions.
28-20 Lions. Lefty, what do you got for today?
I did it yesterday on my show. I got the Bears 24-17. Stafford's been dealing with that thumb injury, and I think that's gonna really hinder their offense. We may get a turnover too. I think the offense will do just enough, but I got 24-17 Bears.
24-17 Bears. Brandon.
I got 27-17, so I'm also in the same neighborhood. Bears coming out on top. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to find a way to win a football game on Sunday afternoon. They haven't done that in 6-7 weeks. Why not us? We got to get it done today. The one thing that we haven't really talked about too is to kind of counteract what Luke said about Mitch. He's playing for his NFL life right now, so he's gonna let it ride. 10's gonna let it ride today. Let's get a good game out of that offense and let's put some points up today.
Hey, you know what? Nothing would make me happier than if the Bears somehow luck their asses into a playoff win or something. You know what I mean? Like, nothing will make me happier. Just because it's like, F you, Matt Nagy. If Mitch leads us to the playoffs and then to a win, like, it'll be like, F you, Matt Nagy. Yeah. But I just don't want to see any of them anymore. So, like, for me, it's hard. It's hard to root for the Bears, but I have to root for the Bears. But I'm going to be real. I think last week was worse than what the team is portraying, to the media. And I think the Bears are going to take this one or drop this one. I think they're going to lose 27-19, and they stay on par with their average in points.
Lucky, we're in this one alone, Lucky. We're the only
but they left us on an island,
huh? Monty getting 100, Allen Robinson getting 100, Mitch is going for 300, Bears by a zillion.
Yeah, Bears by a zillion. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't want to fall into that trap, because I've seen this. I've seen this before. I don't want to fall for the banana in the tailpipe again. And I've seen this before, where the Bears are coming in, they got the Lions, they could get right. And then the Lions go in and blow them out 33 to 14.
14-0 Lions at the end of the first.
Exactly. Like, I've seen it too many times. I hope they win. Like I said, I hope they do win. I'm just like,
hey, look, guys. I know, and I know it's been a rough go these last 6 weeks, but you just never know, and you do want to do whatever you can to get to the postseason, and you could catch lightning in the bottle.
Yep.
So let's go back to that year, the Giants. Wild card team, 8-8. And nobody expected them to do anything, and they got hot and got to the Super Bowl. And I know that's wishful thinking for us as Bears fans, but we've seen it before. And like I said, these last 5 games are winnable. These last 5 games are winnable, and who knows? You get hot, you get your confidence. The offense starts at least playing halfway decent. Defense gets back to being somewhat elite, and you never know what could happen. The Bears could end up being a scary team. So let's just see what happens, man. I'm a Bear fan. I'm hoping. I'm not gonna bet on it.
Right.
Definitely not gonna bet on it.
Yeah. All right, guys, man. Hey, Lucky, Brandon, thank you guys for coming on. Go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you online. Lefty, go ahead and start it off.
Hey, thanks for having me. I always have a great time when I come in the basement with you guys. Tune in. Catch us on Saturday afternoons from 12 to 2. Right here on SportsZone Chicago app, Humidor Sports and Cigars, the podcast. We have a great time. Myself, Mr. Smokefella, my man Sly, PG, KDL. We have special guests on, and Ivan, of course, one of our producers. He chimes in on the show all the time. And, it's always great. You guys can catch us. Follow us on Facebook. We on Instagram, Humidor Shop Talk. And, man, thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, of course. Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, and then so I got my personal account in I think left, right. I don't know what side it is on your screen corner, but it's Beat on 300. For my Bears coverage, it's at Bears on Tap. That's found on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, all that. And then I cover a lot of college football too. Had the privilege of being out at the NIU game yesterday. That coverage is Huskies on Tap, and then our Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Ivan, that we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
Undefeated.
Lefty's an Irish fan too.
Oh, yes.
So
On Tap Irish is my podcast for the Notre Dame coverage, but
I think we lost.
We
just
lost
lose Brandon?
We lost him.
Yeah, we just lost Brandon. I don't know where he went. Brandon, love you. Thank you for coming on. You can catch him on Tap everything. Just look for Brandon Suarez. Lefty, man, thank you for coming on as always. If you want to come on halftime, let me know. Just send me a text.
Okay, cool. And I was going to tell Brandon till we lost him, man. We'd love to have him come on our Humidor Sports and Cigars and talk some football with us one week.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll let him know. I'll let him know for sure. All right, Lefty. Have a good one. Bear down.
All right. See you at halftime. All right.
All right, guys. That was Lucky Lefty from the Humidor Sports and Cigars podcast. It's hard, man. It's hard because I love my Bears, but I want to be realistic. Like, I don't want to string you guys along. I don't want to string myself along. I know the product I see on the field. You can't tell me what I'm seeing is any different than what it is. And do I want to hold on to this false hope and continue to think, playoffs? No. But if there's a possibility, I'm going to report the possibility of them making in. Like, you don't want to be caught up, with your pants down in any situation. But for me, you see my pick. I got the Lions winning today. I don't have the Bears making the playoffs. All I'm simply saying is they have a chance. That chance is very slim, and they have to be perfect. It starts today, going 1-0, like the team was saying this week.
Yeah, but they've been needing to go 1-0 since.
Yeah.
How long? Far
should have
back?
been 1-0 after the Rams lost. 1-0.
Right.
1-0.
Why are we not
1-0.
talking about that then? It's now that it's crunch time. We got to go 1-0. But yeah, that Bears team. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised today if you see Matt Nagy throwing a fit. Allen Robinson just walks off the game. I don't know. I mean, there's a ton of problems on this Bears team, from coaching to scheming to personnel. All that stuff. I mean, me personally, I feel like Allen Robinson's gone. I feel like you definitely need a line. I feel like you need a true number one running back. I feel like David Montgomery is a complimentary back, not a number one.
He's a good number 2.
Right. I think he'd be a solid number 2 if you got it. You could start hitting people with the Chubb hunt, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you can still even have Tariq there as well. I don't know. I mean, I don't know where they go. I mean, I think the first step in the right direction for them is just get rid of Nagy and Pace, and maybe
start
even
out
Phillips,
fresh.
and just wreck shop and let everybody know that, listen, we're not here to be laughed at. We are the Chicago Bears. We're one of the best and oldest franchises in this NFL, and you're going to respect us. But I think the Bears need to bring that respect to themselves. There's nothing. I think the only way they're going to get the respect is by doing something this extravagant and just clean house.
Similar to what Lefty had said, people keep using that Bulls analogy.
Right.
Scrap it.
Yeah.
Scrap it. Restart. Do it all over.
Why not?
Tony says Bears will get killed in the playoffs. They're not ready for that.
No.
Hell no, they're not ready for that. I know that. I know they're not ready for that. But how crazy this? Look, in 2020, if you haven't seen 2020, 2020 is a crazy ass year.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I'm not going to go ahead and just, all right, they're done. I'm just going to put them by the wayside, and all of a sudden they go on a run. It's there because they have shitty teams that are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
They have teams that they can beat, and then they have the Packers, which is the hammer at the end. Regardless of what they do, I truthfully don't see them making the playoffs. Mm-mm. But you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, no, there's always a chance. I mean, it's that's the NFL. I mean, that's why they play on Sunday. I mean, let's see. I mean, they look at the Steelers. They're 11-0. Ben Roethlisberger gets hurt. How far do you think they're going in the playoffs? Not very far. So I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen. Injuries happen, big plays happen, coaches fire. All that stuff messes with teams, and one bad play call. Someone blows a coverage. I mean, look at the Minnesota Saints game. The dude for the Saints went to blow somebody out, wasn't even looking at him, and the guy ran into the house.
Right.
Bye Saints. So I mean, there are things that can happen, and I mean, it's not odd to think that something like this could happen, especially with the defense that they have. But that defense has to save face today. If they want to do anything, they have to save face and come to play, because last week was terrible.
Hey, I'm going to say this, and we're going to close after this. It's time to get fucking nasty.
That's exactly what it is.
It's time to get fucking mean. You guys are flat out embarrassed. In Chicago Bears, you are flat out embarrassed in your rival's home ballpark. They dance all over. You had some chick up there with the sign, "Deep Tissue's overrated," and just talking down to have some fucking pride in yourselves. Go out there and blow out the Lions. I don't have you winning. No. I don't have you winning. But like I said, what was my third key to the game in the Bailey pregame show? Prove me wrong.
Right.
Prove me wrong. If you can't do that, then you deserve to be exactly where you're at.
Yeah.
There's nothing you could do about it. There's nothing I could say about it. There's nothing your team can say about it. If you don't show some pride, your ass is going to get blown out again. And we could start the rebuild early. You know what I'm saying? We'll start the rebuild next week.
Yeah, how about you go 1-0 with your draft instead of
having to play games?
Hey,
there's something. How about instead of being you? How about be better? All right, guys. This has been the Basic Monsters Game Day Podcast. I'm Ivan Vargas. That's Luke Nettles. We will get to you guys at halftime of the Bears. Well, it'll be the Bears and the Lions, and also the Browns and the Titans. Until then, peace.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
on to your butts.
I just heard my favorite band is in town. I'd love to get good seats, but everywhere I've looked, the ticket sites have crazy service fees.
Haven't you heard of TixSplits?
Who?
TixSplits. They don't gouge you with crazy fees. The price they advertise is the price you pay, plus a small delivery fee.
Never pay service fees again. Go to TIXBLITZ.com today. TixSplits.com. Guaranteed seats, low prices. That's TixSplits.com. Every ticket, every venue, everywhere.